You know, we talk a lot about streaming versus physical media today, right? But before that, it was, Blu-ray versus HD DVD. And then before that, well, it was really DVD and that's all it had. But before that, you had Beta versus VHS. That was the big, Coke versus Pepsi at the time. Well, it's been a long time. I mean, we talk a lot today about the fact that you can't even buy DVDs or Blu-ray players anymore. I mean, you can buy them, but more and more companies that make them are going out of business or just deciding to get out of the business of making physical media in general. But I got an email last night from one of our viewers, Box Office Fan, telling me, oh my God. And by the way, this might not be new. This might have been around for a while. I don't know if this is brand new or not, but sent me this link showing Walmart. Yes, this is Walmart. And thou eyes dost not deceive you. Those are VHS players. Those are VCRs. You know what's funny? I just got out of doing a movie meetup where me and a bunch of people in San Diego watched The 40-Year-Old Virgin together, where in that 20-year-old movie, a customer came in to Stephen Crown and said, I'm looking for a VHS. He says, you don't want a VHS. It's pretty much a dead technology. That was 20 years ago. And here we are today. And by the way, you can have one of these bad boys for the low price of, how much is it? $154, my friends. $154. Now look, I, like a lot of other guys in my generation, we have a very special relationship with VHS, not just because that's the way we taped our shows, not just because that's the way we went and rented and watched our movies, but like a lot of people 5 years older to 5 years younger than me, so at that 10-year span there, that's how we first discovered porn. Like everybody else, found it in my uncle's basement. That little VHS with the label on it says, do not let the kids see this. As a matter of fact, Rob, you know the urban legend, Rob, that the reason the two big VCR formats, Beta or Betamax, whatever they call it at the time, and VHS, and as the urban legend goes, the reason VHS ultimately won out was because the adult film industry chose VHS. And like, you couldn't just jump online back then, Rob. There was no Foot Hub. There was no Itchy Scratch see me. There was none of that. There was only VHS if you could get your grubby hands on it. Anyway, I can't believe these are back in an era that we're having a harder and harder time finding DVD players. Rob, what do you think about Walmart selling VHSs? Do you have one still? And you want to run out and buy one?
I actually do have a VHS player. I don't use it much. VHS was a garbage format anyway. It wasn't even as good as Sony's Beta format. But, I mean, the resolution, you're looking, theoretically, the best resolution you'd get was 525 lines, but VHS was more like 250. It was 640 by 480.
240, I believe. 240 was
240 was like the tie. But the NTSC format could go up to 525, but VHS did not avail itself of that. It was a terrible video format. Japan, Asia, and the United States, they had better video formats in PAL and CCAM in Europe. We got screwed. I mean, we got the worst video format ever. I would never, ever, ever want to go back. If anybody tried, look, John, I was a video pirate. For 20 years, I collected thousands of movies on VHS tape. I can't even tell you how much money I spent on blank tape. As soon as I started looking at Laserdiscs in 1985, I'm like, I'm out.
That changed the game.
I was out. I was out. VHS was never great. However, I think a lot of people probably have old VHS tapes lying around. It might be videotapes of filming weddings or something. And there's a lot of companies that
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that would be there. I have like some old VHS tapes that I've converted. That's why I have a VHS player. You convert it to put it on YouTube or old things. So to archive stuff, you might have come across a cache of somebody might have died. You found their porn that was in their closet. But if it wasn't porn, you could find some really great stuff I love it when people have videotapes that have commercials in them.
Oh, I know.
They've recorded like old TV shows, and then you see the commercials of that day or coming attractions of that day, or like the ABC Sunday night movie that have James Bond bumpers, things like that. You can find a lot of that stuff on YouTube, but it all came from old VHS tapes. So to have those, you might have gold in them thar hills. So maybe
it's funny you mentioned that, because Anne just recently, like this 2 weeks ago, Anne came across this box that was in her mom's garage, and it was a bunch of Super 8 tapes, like 8mm tapes.
Yeah.
And and now we don't have anything that plays that stuff, and a couple of VHS tapes. She actually boxed them up and shipped them off to a company to do it. And it's like, let me tell you, if you haven't seen the movie version of 10-year-old Ray Ora and 8-year-old Ann Ora running around making their own little James Bond movie, then you haven't seen cinema. So yeah, that's probably the most realistic use of this stuff is
but
like,
that's
hey,
amazing
if you still
to have
tapes
that.
around. Yeah, it is.
But the real question is, are we going to get the VHS John Campea Dance Crew videos from your dad?
Oh, no. Those are still on tapes. I still know where they are. They are buried away in the catacombs of the Campea Ranch. And there they shall stay, my friend.
That's other than like, the JFK files. We need to have those tapes.
Well, when they release the Epstein files, I'll release the breakdance
There
video.
we go.
Guys, we want to thank the sponsor of today's episode, PrizePicks. Look, you and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right actually means you win. And with football back, there is no better time to get in on the action. You guys know I've been using PrizePicks for a while now, and it's honestly the most fun I've had engaging with the new football season already. For example, this weekend, I had Josh Allen throwing for more than 270 passing yards, and Baker Mayfield having more than 2.5 passing touchdowns, and boom, I won on both. Building your lineups on PrizePicks is fast, simple, and honestly extremely fun. All you have to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, and if you're right, you win. What's even better is that PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still win even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Plus, they've even got this thing called injury reboots, so if a player goes down in the first half, it won't count against you. And PrizePicks operates in more than 40 states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. So download the app today and use code CAMPEA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CAMPEA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right.
All right, guys. Question is for you. What do you think about this? Apparently, Walmart is selling VHS. Maybe you still got the original Star Wars collection sitting around somewhere on VHS. Maybe you've got some of those movies and you just never have a way to play them. But would you pay $156 for them? I don't know. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.